Yokability. With Yokability phone, you could be able to order for our inputs in any part of the country by dialing *284*77#. You look through the menu and then you are able to order for what you need in terms of inputs, seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides. And then the other approach was via a call center or customer helpline. And so there wasn't any excuse why you couldn't be able to use. However, because of the target market that we were looking at, you realize dealing directly, and that was B2C, business to consumer, to customer. And so because of that approach, number one, because of the literacy levels being high in the target people we are looking at, the smaller farmers, especially rural-based, we had a challenge with having adoption. Yes, they could see that the solution was all right for them to have quality inputs, but there is still that element of having to consider that I don't care whether I use fake inputs, I'll have to have my produce probably sold to the nearby market. So because of that, we had a challenge with having numbers grow or even having so much in terms of impact. So we ended up sitting at around 20,000 farmers within that space. But although we were able to reach over 500,000 plus, but the conversion we could be able to serve within that time was up to 20,000 as real customers. However, 2022, we managed to have visited different international expos to learn from what the end market at the end of the day, in terms of the international market needs, where what I would say real money is moving in the space and on the international market. And normally who order for bulk that need produce in bulk at the end of the day. And so we went in United Arab Emirates, we went to Germany for the Fruit Logistica of 2021, leave alone the one we were happening in this year. And so we went to Dubai Expo, we went to Uganda UAE Convention again in Dubai, we went to Fruit Logistica in Berlin, we went to others, around one, actually that was in Spain. So we talked to these global buyers, and the importers were saying that if you can only prove to me that what your local suppliers are able to deliver is quality and is okay from production, I'm willing to pay an extra $1 for that, because at the end of the day, as an importer, I have a market that demands quality here in my country. So when we got that information, we came back and said that, look, if we are able to to prove to these international buyers that whatever they are buying from the Ugandan suppliers is quality, that means they are willing to pay them extra dollars, which they can also trickle down to the producers by also purchasing at a better price to them, and which will also trigger them to be able to motivate them to grow and concentrate on producing what they need. So instead of us locally here in Uganda farming foie, and then foie meaning farming without knowing where you're going to sell, we opted to work it backwards and say, if someone can farm against the demand that is required, that means they are able to produce quality, because they will be farming knowing that this is the quality that is required, and this is where the market is. So what has been happening and what is happening in the country, as you know, that is real, that people do farm, but they don't know where the market is, and they don't know even what that market demands in terms of quality. So they end up farming, and then reaching at harvest, they have to look for the market without really having a clear plan. And so they end up selling to anybody who shows up at the end of the day desperately at any price offer. So we wanted to make it in a way that let someone farm against a particular specification or quality, and then knowing even what price they opt to get at the end of the day if they can deliver that quality of produce. So we worked it backwards by saying, let it start from the demand side. Let's hear from the buyers, the global buyers. When they tell us the quality, we communicate it directly to the exporters. Exporters will communicate the same to the producers. And then the producers will produce knowing what they have to produce, because the exporters are offering the immediate market for them, the local exporters. So this is what we did. And 2022, we managed to revamp our digital infrastructure to point towards the B2C approach, whereby as we officially launched it in 2023, 1st of January, the new business model of looking into the export side and powering exports, we managed to have it in a way that as an exporter, let me say as an exporting company or a farmer produce organization or a produce organization like a cooperative, they're in position to independently use our digital platform to profile and manage their outgrowers, I mean the farmers. And then they're able to know everything across board when through production, when they move their products, they bulk from the farmers, when they take them to the pack houses, what happens in the pack house is traced, then up to when it's delivered to the end customer. And so this is what we are doing 2023. And so currently this is what we do. We offer 2 digital products. We offer the digital marketplace, where an exporter that is certified by Uganda Export Promotion Board is in position to be able to display all their products that they are selling, that they are willing to sell to the global market or the international market. And then what Farmnera is in position to do is to bring the global traffic. Obviously, not every traffic, but traffic of buyers, but we talk directly to these specific international buyers, and then they come on board. We take them through the verification process. They get verified, they sign up on the marketplace, and then they look through the different exporters that are displaying their products for sale. This is what we do. And then for the exporters as well, we are in position to have them verified. And so we are partnering with Uganda Export Promotion Board and also other export associations to make sure we only onboard those that have been vetted and also that are certified to export. So the second thing that we do as a digital product is digital supply chain traceability, which I said that this is what the international buyers really need the most, such that they can consider, or even like exporter, to command for a better price offer. And so we are having 6 stages in this digital solution. We have stage 1, which is primary production. This is where farm input sourcing, farmer profiling and management, data collection around what the farmer is using at every stage of production happens. Then stage 2 is around produce bulking. So produce bulking is when farmers have harvested and then the exporter or the cooperative is in position to bulk or aggregate the produce from the farmers. Whatever happens in that produce bulking stage, all the information is captured in there. And produce delivery, normally this is transportation from the bulking center to the pack house. Then sorting, processing, and packaging, this happens directly at the pack house or warehouse. And then or factory. And then shipment is around the freight from the pack house to the air cargo or to the sea cargo, company. Then customer, these are the international buyers, the actual buyers that import in what the exporters have to sell. And so if you look at the blueprint of our system that's doing supply chain traceability, this is a clear picture of things. So what we trace, if you look at, we trace the food, then we trace the documentation. Under food, stage 1, we trace inputs, purchase history. Stage 2, we trace under food, supplier history, produce, name, quantity, quality, price of purchase from the farmers. Then stage 3, that's how it flows up to the end. Then under documentation, we trace certifications, inspection reports, transactional reports, and others. So don't get us wrong. Famnera doesn't certify. It provides a digital environment where the exporter and produce organizations like cooperatives are able to add or fill in their information about whatever is happening across the 6 stages of their supply chain. So we are not competing with the government that we are certifying body for exporters. No, we are providing a digital infrastructure that these businesses, the exporting companies and the produce organizations do their work efficiently. That is what we do. So, and if you look at what currently we offer as a subscription, we don't charge for the marketplace for certified exporters to display and sell on our marketplace. No, we only charge for the supply chain traceability solution if you need to use it. Obviously, every exporting company and produce organization really needs this. And what it offers is farmer profiling and management of these parties, then produce bulking, delivery, sorting, the entire 6 stages, then plus we hope this system is able to generate you and share traceability reports to the respective parties. You need to share this, especially the documentation under transactions, to the financial institution if you need to unlock trade financing seamlessly, especially from our financial partners that we've been able to attract, like Exim Finance to buy, Stanbic Bank is local here, others like Otas Africa Capital, all these players that are willing to deploy capital or trade financing to the exporters for as long as data is available, which means it acts as your bank statement to prove to these financials that your business is on point. And so you need financing to clear a contract that has come on board. And so you are able to unlock financing just by using your bank statement that is on Famnera in terms of traceability, in terms of a traceability report. And so the other thing is that with the traceability, you are in position to command for a better price if you are going to sell to global buyers that value this, of which Famnera has been able to attract them from Fruit Logistica, from Gulf Food. All this year, we've been able to pull these global buyers that are able to buy at a better price. And so the other thing that as an exporter using this tool, you are able to do, you are in position to as well confirm to the authorities that are doing the probably checks that whatever you've been doing across the supply chain is traceable from production up to your end customers. So interceptions are able to be reduced and also quality is able to be enhanced otherwise. So it's currently standing at $50 or in Uganda shillings 200,000. And so this is what we have working at the moment. However, Famnera is improving it better to make sure we can be able to have other sophisticated analytics reports like impact. How many youth have you been able to impact? How many women have you been able to impact as a business? How many, whatever that a business would love to work with or get in terms of data, especially that is in position to show the developmental partners. Normally businesses have developmental partners that probably need such information. So this is where the second version of our traceability solution is going to be able to head, and probably it will have a different price. We shall have this as the basic and the other as the improved version that probably might cost $100 or whatever fees that will be able to be communicated in the market. And so this is the traction we stand at. Currently, we are in position to move to facilitate $1 million plus in terms of transactions of inputs. We have inputs dealers. The business that we used to do, we channeled it down to the inputs dealers as agents to be able to actually run this business for as long as they are in position to use the digital infrastructure to do all the sales that they are doing to their customers so that data is readily available. The moment the farmer shows up at your input shop, you feed in the information about what they have purchased, where, who the farmer is, such that on that very day the farmer purchases inputs is matched to the potential exporter who is going to offtake their produce at the end of the season at harvest. So this is what we have been able to build. And we are now in position to facilitate transactions of produce up to $10+ million. This is what we are able to now power in terms of exports. We don't make this money as we, but it is the value that our system is able to generate for the players that are trading on the platform. And so we are currently standing at over 25,000. I'm currently sure that we are at 35,000 farmers plus. By close this year, we should be looking at 500,000 farmers that have been able to be powered on this digital infrastructure. And we are currently standing at 50 plus verified food exporters. We've done so far 4 workshops. As you've been seeing, those that are following our work, our activities, so far we stand at 100 exporters that have been activated. And if you look at the agro inputs dealers, we are now also standing at 100 inputs dealers across the country that we've decentralized the inputs distribution to be able to capture information from every farmer that is purchasing from them, so we can align them with immediate market to the exporters. Then also for them to be able to give them the business that we used to do for inputs, so that if the farmer orders for inputs in Bushenyi, we already have an input dealer that we've been able to verify on Farmnera, and so we channel that business to that input dealer. If you look at the user categories, we have the normal user, the farm inputs dealer, we have the food aggregator, and these are 2 parties, the exporter or the exporting company and the produce organization like a cooperative. And then we have the global buyer or the importer. So these are the 4 categories that are using our digital marketplace to do business. And these are some of the requirements if someone is a food supplier or exporter has to have and be able to upload on the platform for us to verify them. This is what a food exporter has to show up with. And if it's a farm inputs dealer, this is what they have to show up with. And if it's a food buyer, this is what they have to show up with for us to verify them. So I'll be sharing this information. I know we have limited time because I know there is time that is required for question and Q&A, I think. And so you'll have a copy of this, and probably the chairman or the president will be able to distribute this across everyone who needs to get detailed information. So this is our management team. I personally lead the team. I have over 10 years experience as a disruptive innovator, especially targeting agriculture. And we have Ben, who is our CTO. Then we have Immaculate Namatov, who is our accountant. Nathan leads operations. Then Isiko leads our sales. This is just the top management. Of course, we have other team members. We stand at a total of 10 active full-time team members. And then the rest are part-time and agents that work on commission basis. And so we have our advisory team. We have Patrick Ayota. I'm sure you know this gentleman, the DMD of NSSF. Why? Because NSSF was our first investor as a pre-seed in 2019 to 2020. And so This is where we have a relationship with NSSF. Then we have Alice as our advisor as well. That is from a partner at Katende, Sempebo, and Kampala Advocates. We have Meg Jakwe, who's the MD and president of American Chamber of Commerce. Then we have Japheth Kawanguzi, is the CEO at the Innovation Village. Then we have Kenneth Leges, who is the CEO at Otas Africa Capital. Then if you look at our partners, this is where we stand. We have USAID, we're already having a running project together, which you've been seeing around, actually targeting and boosting food exports. Then we have International Trade Center under Netherlands Trust Fund. Then we have TechnoServe. We're already doing a project together called HOTMAP, Horticulture Market Access Program. Then Newman is one of the first guys that bought our digital infrastructure in cash at I would say around a price without having to wait for it to get finished or completed. He procured it earlier enough beyond the rate that is known for the market for them to be able to streamline their supply chain. So they did in value addition and export of chili and Irish potatoes. If I'm sure you've seen they are brown around supermarkets, but they also do exports. So we have Stanbic, the Innovation Village, Exim Finance Dubai. These are venture capitalists who offer financing. Otas Africa Capital, Mesa Advocates, Fruit Logistica. These are international expos where we are partnering to do marketing for our exporters to be able to get international and credible buyers. Gulf Food happens in Dubai. We just from there. Fruit Logistica, we were there in the first week of February. Gulf Food, we've been there in the third week of February. NSSF is our investor. UNCDF, we had a work together. Hot Fresh is an association of food exporters. Uganda National Young Farmers Association, Uganda National Farmers Federation, these are all partners. So this is where we stand as FAMNERA. This is the impact we've been able to create in the space. And we keep learning. We welcome the feedback where things are not right. And so if I can have an opportunity to show you a live platform, let me show it to you so that you can be able to have a feel.
You could do that in 1 minute, and then we move into the Q&A.
Sure. So this is how the live platform looks like. If you go on the platform, if you go on your Google browser and type in www.famnera.com, you are in position to go right on the platform. And so that is how it looks like. When you get time, visit the marketplace and try to interact with it and check it and see what you can do with the marketplace. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Julius. Over to you, PHF Patience, to take us through the Q&A.
Thank you, President. Once again, thank you, Julius, for that awesome presentation. Rotarians, please feel free to raise your hands and ask Julius on any follow-up questions. You can supplement, you can comment, and you can deduct. I'll take a few comments from the chat room as the hands come up. We have a comment from Rotarian James Onyoin. He says he has I've been buying inputs for the last 2 years. This is for my Hass avocado farm in Bukedia. Our own AP Mugera says, I have personally bought quality farm inputs from FAMNERA. Those are all reactions to you, Julius. Then there was a question that came in. I missed the start of your presentation, but Paul from RCSOD asked, what are residues? And then he follows it up and says, our biggest problem as a country is post-harvest management to maintain the quality of our produce. For this, we need a good infrastructure. What plans do you have to improve this part of the value chain? I'll take a last one and then hand it over to you, Julius, as we take more. Paul again says, it is estimated that 40% of farm inputs, pesticides, are fake. How do you assure the buyers that what you are delivering is authentic? I'll take the last one from Rotarian Kalunji. Globally, organic farming is being encouraged. Why do we still promote artificial fertilizers and herbicides? Julius, over to you. Julius, are you still with us?
Yes, I am. Kindly, can you help me repeat the question number 2? I got 1.
Question number
3, right? 2 and 4.
You got the one on residues?
Yes. I missed
okay,
number 2.
The other one was our biggest problem as a country is post-harvest management to maintain the quality of our produce. For this, we need a good infrastructure. What plans do you have to improve this part of the value chains?
Then number 4.
The last one was globally, organic farming is being encouraged. Why do we still promote artificial fertilizers and herbicides?
Right. So let me start off exactly with what are the residues? Yes, residues normally in exports we call them chemical residues, and this happens. Particular markets demand particular. If you have to use a chemical, there is a quantity that you have to be able to that is required in that probably that country or that space to export a product, not beyond having that kind of that quantity of residue. And so if you look at normally you've seen tomatoes which have been sprayed and they take them to the market. When you buy them yourself, you can notice that they are those it's not yet for, because normally most of the chemicals that probably do are used, they recommend 14 days before you can harvest, and some harvest before even those 14 days do. So you realize that by the time even these chemicals show up on the surface, outside surface, once you are probably bought them. Now for those residues that are normally tested at the customs, food customs at airports, they normally find them internally. In that, if you don't take if you don't take it keenly, that you probably wait for the 14 days, or some even go up to 21 days, depending on how strong the chemical is. And so you realize, like fungicides, pesticides, some fertilizers, they normally have those. And so once they are tested, they find that the chemical residue is still available, or it's higher than what is recommended or required. For instance, in the European market, you realize they have certain standards. If you have to deliver a particular product, food product, what quantity of chemical residue it shouldn't surpass or exceed. So that's what I mean by chemical residue or residue. So normally it's in the chemical side that is applied probably during the production of this food commodity. So that's what it means. Then for post-harvest management, how is Farmnera probably working towards that? Well, Farmnera, I would like you to, currently we opted to provide a digital environment for for an exporter or produce organization to actually use, just like how you use a software environment for accounting, let me say QuickBooks, to fill in whatever information is right that makes sense for your business. At the end of the day, if you fill in the wrong information, you will get wrong output. And so things won't add up. And so it's the same thing that Famnera is offering on the market, that we are giving this digital infrastructure to these players, the food exporters and produce organizations. And so it's up to them to make sure they also make sure they can fill in fill the gaps that are around post-harvest management. I'll give you an example. We have a marketplace that is offering producers and exporters an opportunity to source quality inputs from those inputs dealers that we've signed up on from NERA. So that means that these inputs dealers, we advise them to have and stock inputs that are able to offer post-harvest handling solutions. For instance, affordable silos, plastic silos for 50 kgs, 100 kgs, tarpaulins, talk about other forms of affordable post-harvest handling solutions, and equipment. So it's up to these producers, the produce organization like cooperatives, to be able to recommend their farmers to these people that we've been able to assign in the different localities where they exist or they do the farming, such that they can go and access and purchase these inputs that are able to help them solve that post-harvest handling problem. And so if also they call Famnera, we recommend them to these people. And so this is the part we are playing on our end. Now it's up to them at the end of the day to make it a point to go and actually access these post-harvest handling solutions from these designated inputs dealers. Yes, this is the part we are playing. Yeah. And question number 3 is, how do you assure the buyer that what is delivered is quality? Yeah. So don't forget, not only do exporters sell on the international market, but they're also open to selling to the local market. In case a local buyer or a local buyer, yes, is local in the country, is in position to probably have a look at the products that these exporters are offering on the marketplace, and is interested and is in position to afford probably their price. And also the platform offers room for negotiation. So they negotiate directly on the terms of trade, including prices. And so they're able to, this exporter is able to adjust the price probably for this buyer, and so they are able to do the business. When it comes to how do we assure the quality? Because currently the platform offers traceability of purchasing history, we are improving it better by making sure these exporters are also going to have what we call spraying schedules, where they can walk into their farmers that they are managing as outgrowers. They schedule their spraying routine. They monitor when the farmers are spraying, and so they record that, okay, a farmer A, let me say Edward Buyondo, bought inputs. I see here he bought from an input dealer in let me say Luero. The input dealer offered supplied them with nimbecidine at spraying, because these exporters normally, and also produce organization leaders normally attend the spraying routines to make sure that they spray in the right way, the actual producers. So they record now what has been used at spraying time. So that means that that information should be correct as this exporter or produce organization is filling in this information, to make sure that it is the information that is going to show up on the report at the end of the day. Yes. And that is how we are probably making sure they can have that environment where they can fill in this information at spraying, feeding schedules for animals, spraying schedules for crops, and others that are in position to help them record the right data at every stage of production that their producers are going through. So this is the part we are able to play here.
Yeah.
And
we have 2 minutes.
number 4, why do we still promote, why do we still promote artificial fertilizers and herbicides, probably, and even other.
Julius?
Yes, please.
Can I ask that you take that after the closure of our fellowship? If you can give us 10 more minutes and we close the fellowship within its time. Is that okay with you? Hello? Julius, did you get me? Wow, did I lose him? Julius, did I lose you?
I think Julius is having some technical challenges. I can see his mic is open,
James,
but
I can
it's not
see
active.
your hand is up, but you'll come in at the Chimeza, I think. Okay, we've lost a speaker. Let's give him a few minutes to come back.
I think we can continue as he joins us. I noticed he had some technical challenges there.
The continuation would be a closure with a vote of thanks. Do you want to give a vote of thanks in absentia?
That's a unique one.
Maybe we can do the statistics before that AP as we wait for the presenter to come back to receive the vote of thanks.
Yes, I think let's proceed with that.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know whether Issa is there, but I also captured in case.
You can give the stats.
Rotarian Issa, are you in?
Issa is on call as well.
Yes, then you can take it out. Thank you.
Our statistics, I'll start with attendance. We had 94 members at the peak of the meeting. The Rotary clubs in attendance, I'll read a moment. We have RC Bulindo, RC Bwebaja, RC Boyogere Nambole, RC Ijaz, RC Kampala Morning Star, RC Kansanga, RC Chitante, RC Chwatule, Kampala Alibad, RC Kampala Maisha, RC Kampala Muyenga Breeze, RC Kampala Springs, RC Kampala Sese Islands, RC Chengira Town, RC Lubowa, RC Machinge East, RC Manyangwa Nakwero, RC Mbarara, RC Mengo, RC Namasuwa, RC Natete, RC Sanji, RC Ntinda, RC Tinda Metro, RC Sonde, RC Sunrise Kampala, Rotaract Club of Boyogere Nambole, Rotaract E-Club of Uganda Global, and RC Lugogo Mango Tree. The members of the club present.
Kampala Alibad.
Okay, Kampala Alibad also, sorry for that. And we have
Kampala North as well.
Vukoto.
Okay, Kampala North, Kampala Vukoto, sorry for that. Makindi was mentioned. And that is it.
Gulu.
Okay, Kampala, RC Gulu. That is it. Sorry if I've missed your club, but we will update our records accordingly. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Rotarian Issa Kagabo, for giving us those statistics. If we have missed any of your Rotary clubs, kindly put it in the chat line. We shall pick it up and update our statistics. Our speaker seems to have had a connection challenge. I don't see him back on call. We will give the vote of thanks in absentia, and I request the PE Sigombe of Sonde to receive it on behalf of his fellow farmer. Rotarian patience, who's giving us the vote of thanks?
Rotarian Ruth can give us the vote of thanks. Thank you.
Great.
Rotarian Ruth, are you available?
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rotarian Patience. I want to take this opportunity. I was very busy capturing the attendance, the statistics, but all the same, I was listening. I'll give a general vote of thanks. I want to thank Julius for presenting, for pulling a big crowd. Many people are indicating that and appreciating that he was a good presenter. And I want to thank him so much for honoring our invitation and for giving us that wonderful talk. I pray that next time that the network will not disturb him and he'll be constant and he will get this vote of thanks. Thank you. And I also want to thank all the Rotarians who are with us, more especially our amazing governor, because I saw him at one point in attendance, and all the district officials, and then the delegates from our neighboring districts, District 9214, led by none other than Daja Muzungu. You are all welcome and come again. Back to you, Rotarian Patience and the AP.
Okay, thank you. We'll take a final toast. I'll ask Rotarian Paul, who was active in the chat, to give us a final toast. Rotarian Paul, are you still with us? Paul from Sunday?
Yes.
PE.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For the wonderful presentation we had from Fumunera, I give it to Rotary International.
Rotary.
Rotary, the world over.
Rotary, the world over.
Thank you, PE Paul.
Rotary, the world over.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you,
very much.
Rotarians, for visiting us.
The thing there where they are seated.
Thank you very much, Rotarian Patience, for guiding us through this meeting. To all Rotarians on call, we are glad that you're able to join us very early morning and be part of this amazing discourse. To my fellow APs, it's always a pleasure to host you at Kampala Daybreak. VPs, district officials, you're most welcome. Our presenter has not been able to rejoin. We thought we could have a more engaging discussion at the end of our meeting, but possibly we shall have that opportunity in the future. The meeting is over, but I can see that we still have amazing Rotarians on call, including CP Kate. We do have some amazing farmers on call. Probably we can still have Meza, guided by none other than P. Sigomba of Sonde. I know him as an activist. Is is an avocado activist. Paul, I don't know if you are in a position to give us some insight.
Most obliged.
Before the insight, President, I would like to recognize Rotarians from Sonde. They really came in big numbers. They were
including
followed
my
by
colleague,
Rotarians from Sunrisers.
My colleague, Christina Lupo. I'm glad you joined us this morning.
President, can I take recognition of our guest, Adrian Tenga? You're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you on call.
Good to see you too.
Thank you.
So, President, what did you want me to do?
Well, just to sort of reflect on what the presentation today, and probably give some insights, being that you are one of our respected farmers, especially around the avocado, the Hass movement.
Yeah, I do a lot of things. I'm also an agro inputs dealer, but we do biologicals and both conventional and biologicals. However, I think what our speaker today was talking about, it was just a general presentation. Agribusiness is a very complex sector, especially when we come to exports. He was right by saying that quality is, of course, the biggest underscore for our country. But quality has got so many definitions, of course. It really depends on the customer. And so others, if you have a chance to go to the FAO, that's a FAO website, they will define for you what quality is. It has to do with the appearance of the product you're exporting. It has to do with the MRLs. I think he was talking about residues. You go further and break it down to MRLs. That's minimum residue levels, which every country or every region has got its own determination of what MRLs are. They mainly deal in agri inputs. My question about fake agri inputs is really very genuine, and that's the problem in Uganda here, because the farmers still believe in looking for cheaper products. And these cheap products are very many, but of course they are not genuine. It is a whole science because of the molecules involved in these pesticides. So most of them, and we've got a lot of fake. If you go down to Container Village, you find everyone trying to sell something. Then we don't have trained pesticide dealers who could guide the farmers. And then, of course, the fact that in Uganda, nearly everyone is a farmer. It is very difficult to have enough extensionists who can guide the farmers so that they can do the right thing. So maybe I can stop there and then we can have a discussion.
Thank you, P.E. Paul, for sharing your thoughts on this topic. Julius has managed to rejoin. Julius, I don't know if you can give us 5 minutes one of your clients, James, had the burning question. Julius. Looks like Julius still not.
Yes, please. Sorry, I had a bad internet connection here.
Yes, James. Julius, one of your clients had a burning question. Rotarian PhD James Onyoin, could you please submit that question? Your hand was up. Julius is now with us.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. Julius, thank you very much for coming to Daybreak. I'm one of your people who have benefited from the infrastructure that you built, the digital infrastructure. I've been buying inputs from through you for about 2 years. Very commendable. Now, I just had a question that in Uganda, my biggest worry is the integrity of the input suppliers. I just wanted to ask you that if, for example, I'm buying an input from Bale, I mean, it's delivered to me from one of the people registered on your system in Mbale. How do I be sure that it is genuine and somebody has not put something which is probably not allowed as a chemical to be used? I just wanted to have comfort around that. And then maybe to suggest, if it is not being done yet, have you reached a point where you will start grading these input suppliers? Somebody could be a 4-star supplier, 5-star supplier, so that when I'm going to get the product, I know that this is a 5-star supplier, so there's no worry about him. His quality has been approved, and there's nothing to worry about. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Maybe there's a question that I left as I was when my internet, before my internet got a problem. It was around why do we still promote artificial fertilizers and herbicide? I think some of the answers I found Mr. Paul Sonde answering are some of the real answers that probably would answer that, because of the first of all, they are cheap. Also, there is lack of information of what the end market requires, because like I said, people here grow not knowing what market they are growing for, so they grow. So if at all there is that information that there is this specific market that needs this specific item, so I'm very sure that is also a problem, that people don't know what market they are growing for, and also that because they are cheap. Yeah, so I think those are some of the answers that I can be able to give for that question. And there are others. Of course, limited enforcement by the responsible authorities. First of all, UNBS, Uganda National Bureau of Standards. The question is, how do these items reach into our market? That's the question for them. Then for probably Minister of Agriculture also has questions to answer, but of course it's also a collective effort, but with everyone who is responsible in the country. But yeah, basically. Then probably answering Mr. James Onye's question is that how do you get to know that maybe the people that we have now channeled the business to are going to supply quality? Yes, so the partnership with the franchise partnership we are having with the inputs dealers that are selected is actually more of a marketing franchise. They don't represent, in terms of liability, we more like providing them a marketing platform where they are able to do business that Famnera was doing initially, but with a keen eye that they have to first go through our verification process. That is, Minister of Agriculture must have issued you with the respective certificates, pest control, there are those training certificates and others to qualify that you're an inputs dealer. And also, we must be an existing business, meaning registered, such that in case of anything, the buyer can be able to actually get down to you in terms, if at all there is an issue. However, we are trying our best, James. That's to be honest with you, because if I'm very sure even after we do all that verification, Minister of Agriculture having offered you the training certificates and all that, then we come and see that, okay, where you operating is right. And then we give you our name, Famunera brand, to actually probably you brand it with your real name around on your poster. Still, there is that missing element that Famunera is not the one actively doing the business, day-to-day business of delivering these inputs to the farmers. But we are trying our best. That's what I can guarantee. We are trying our best. Then the other question is around, can you rate? Are we going to be able to rate? I think that is the best solution we are going to be having moving forward, because based on the feedback that every buyer as a farmer offers to, in terms of rating, is able to give us feedback and also put those that are highly rated at the faces of the customers, such that, and probably those that with wrong feedback or with negative feedback, that is probably, if we look around, we probably verify that it is right. We're able to put them on a hold, ban them, and also, yeah. But I think that will be the best approach to help us probably have those that are highly rated to be able to keep or continue supplying the inputs to the farmers. I think that is going to be considered moving forward. And thanks for that feedback. I think it's something that we have to consider as well in our current structure of inputs, of decentralized inputs distribution to the farmers. Thank you, James.
Thank you. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Great. Thank you very much, Julius, for responding to those questions and giving your valuable input. Friends, if there are no further comments or questions, I would like to end the Chimeza session in a minute or so. Right. Thank you, Julius, for your time.
Yes, I'll be sharing the presentation with you, Edward, and you can be able to share it across to the members, and then they can have a copy. Thanks.
Yes, please. You can share it, then we shall be able to distribute it to Rotary.
Thank you.
Thank you, and have a great day and weekend ahead as you serve humanity. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.